Good evening, everyone. This is Maharaj from BCBUZZ Technologies. Once again, I thank you all for your presence today. I thank you everyone for joining this third day of this faculty development program on cybersecurity and emerging research opportunities in cybersecurity. Of course, yesterday was a technical glitch. We spoke to the platform team yesterday. Even today, around 5:30 in the evening, they had some maintenance in the platform. For almost 30 minutes, the app was down. It was under maintenance. I was actually expecting that it get resolved before this session starts, and we got confirmation around 6 p.m. that the app related maintenance related all the tasks has been completed by the platform engineering team. Great. Today is the third day session officially. Yesterday's session is invalid. Let's quickly go to what's the agenda for today. We actually wanted to start with the lab setup. That is what we tried yesterday. I was actually doing like 3 days, 25 minutes around lab setup and so on. But for some reason, it was not able to get connected with the audience here. We are unable to complete. We are unable to proceed further due to the technical issues. But today we are trying our best to complete it without any glitch at all. We have done everything in our capacity, testing the platform and testing the presentation, everything. All right. Okay. So when we say we were discussing this yesterday, and when we say about cybersecurity lab, we will discuss a couple of things. First thing, in reality, in real-time cybersecurity environment, we won't be using what we are using as a lab setup like what we are doing now. For example, if a cybersecurity professional, for example, a penetration tester is going to do an audit of a website. Let's say we are going to audit a website to Tesla.com. Say, for example, if a penetration tester is going to do a security audit of a website, most probably he would be running Linux distribution called a Kali Linux, KALI, and that Linux distribution, sometimes it will be like a host operating system or it will be in cloud. What is the difference between these two? Host operating system is something that is running in a desktop or a laptop or a kind of server as the operating system that is running in the as a core operating system, core OS. It's not in a virtual environment. Or they'll be setting up cloud, for example, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, etc. There are like 200 plus cloud deployments. They'll be setting up cloud, and inside the cloud there will be a virtual machine. Inside the virtual machine, then the Linux distribution will be installed, and the tools will be regularly updated and so on. That is the real-time environment. But here in our system, why are we actually trying to set up a lab? Because the system that we are demonstrating is a Windows machine, and of course the the tools that is part of cybersecurity is a Linux distribution, and if you want to have both parallelly at the same time and so on, it's really complicated. Once upon a time we had something called dual boot, so where we can install multiple operating systems, but still you need to turn off one operating system to launch the other. Then came hypervisors, which are like applications that enable other virtual machines inside a hypervisor, and that hypervisor will be running on top of a operating system. Here we should understand two things. One, if you look at my screen, we are having Windows 11. This is called a host operating system, and once we install Oracle VirtualBox, which is a hypervisor type 2, and we install Kali Linux and other Linux and so on, this is called guest operating system. So that is the terminology you need to understand. The one that is running directly in the processor, consuming memory and storage, it is a host operating system, and one that is running inside a virtual machine, inside a hypervisor as the virtual machine, is a guest operating system. Now, when it comes to hypervisor, there are two different types of hypervisor. One is hypervisor 1, also called a bare metal hypervisor, and another one is a hypervisor 2, that is a desktop hypervisor. What is a bare metal hypervisor? This is a different subject altogether. In data centers and so on, of course, before virtualization came into picture, it was costing a lot for maintenance. So they came with a hypervisor so that they can run multiple operating systems inside the servers in the data center. So the hypervisor, that is like a software application, it's like an OS, Linux kernel kind of, that you run directly in a server. It's a bare metal server. The server is empty without having an operating system. You run directly there. It's a bare metal hypervisor. The most, recommended or not the well-known hypervisors are from, for example, ESXi from VMware and Microsoft Hyper-V and so on. These are the bare metal hypervisors. Citrix and so on. Now, there is another hypervisor called the desktop hypervisor that we are going to use today. Something like Oracle VirtualBox, like that is in the screen. Another one is VMware Workstation, that is from VMware, which is now acquired with Broadcom. And if you're using Mac, you'll be having Parallels Desktop. These are like desktop hypervisors. That's what. Now, if you want hypervisors to be running inside your host operating system, you need to have virtualization enabled in the BIOS. Virtualization is a feature that should be enabled manually in the BIOS. Now, most of the operating systems comes with a BIOS setting where you can disable or enable enable or disable virtualization. How you can confirm from the operating system whether virtualization is enabled or not? The most efficient way, there are like commands, there are like tools and so on. The most efficient way is just go to Task Manager. Inside Task Manager, go to Performance. Inside Performance, you'll be having graphical processor and disk memory, internet connection. That is this. I'm connected with the LAN in the present system. I'm connected with the Wi-Fi in the laptop that I'm talking and so on. So we do have this slot called the CPU. The CPU will show here under logical processes and so on. You can see virtualization is enabled. If virtualization is not enabled, it's not recommended that you try with Oracle VirtualBox installation, hypervisor and so on. That is one way to confirm it. So we do have some binaries here. We will share this list of binaries that you can download and try this lab probably a later point of time. I'll just quickly show how, from where all these binaries have been downloaded. Okay, I'm just going to show you the folder that I have already downloaded the binaries. Probably you're able to see now. So we do have, the first one is Firefox, is a browser. The second one is 7Z, that is extracted to like WinRAR, WinZip and so on. Third one is Visual C++ redistributable, that is required for Oracle VirtualBox to install properly. Most of the operating systems might have this Visual C++ redistributable for any other application you might have installed for other purpose. If not, if during the installation of VirtualBox, if you get that error that Visual C++ is installed, you can download and install it manually, and then restart this VirtualBox installation separately. And when it comes to VirtualBox, there is this VirtualBox extension pack, and we do have other virtual machines like a Kali machine. Kali machine is the Linux distribution that is having the cybersecurity tools. Metasploitable and OWASP, broken web apps, OWASP, broken web apps, another couple of Linux distributions. It's a thin Linux, don't have any graphical user interface at all. This is like vulnerable machines. And we do have a BCBUZZ Community Edition for Windows downloaded for a demo, not for today. Probably in future, we may have 1 or 2 sessions for this. And then, yeah, that's it. That's all we have for today. We do have a lot of other content as well. For example, we have BCBUZZ entirely for web application security. We have OpenWASP, we have Nessus, and like dozens of tools like that. Most top 10 tools we can say. Okay. Now, like we said, this is the virtual environment where we are going to set up the Cybersecurity Lab. Okay. Now, Firefox is already installed. That's where I have connected with this course browser and so on. So I'm just going to start with the extractor tool now. 7-zip. Okay. Of course, when you try to install 7-zip, you'll be getting this um, prompt. Okay. I'm just going to click install. Okay, click install and 7-zip install. Once installed, one thing that we need to do is open this application, 7-zip file manager. Please go to tools and then options. By default, it will be like this. This 7-zip extractor application mostly won't be attached with any of the extension. .7z is an extension, .rar is an extension, .tar is an extension, .tg z is an extension, gzip extension. All these extensions it may not be associated with. So we just have to click this plus icon. I mean not all. Okay, just click cancel. Tools. Okay, just click plus so that all this extensions are associated with this. I mean, these are relevant extensions associated with the 7-zip application. I'm just going to click apply and then click OK. That's it. 7-zip is done. When we install the 7-zip and then we attach the extension and so on, so we'll be able to see this Kali mission directly attached with showing us an extracted file. Here I just made the changes. That's the reason it is not showing like this. Now let's come to your Visual C++ installation, VC++. This is already installed. I can show you here. Okay, programs and features. Okay, Microsoft Visual C++ 2015-2022 redistributable. This is already here. That's the reason. This one. Okay, that's the reason it is showing us repair uninstall. If it is not installed, you'll be facing a prompt that will say that continue installation and then complete the installation. I'm just going to click close. That's it. Now let's do the installation of Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, I'm just going to click that application Oracle VirtualBox. Okay. So yeah, we have this prompt Oracle VirtualBox installation prompt. Click next and then yeah, I'm just going to disable this VirtualBox Python support. I don't want that to be installed at all. I'm not going to use it, so I can skip it. The other options, VirtualBox USB support networking, bridge networking, function networking, I'll just leave it as it is and then click next. And then yeah, I will be getting this warning prompt. It's fine because it is going to disrupt this existing network connection just for a millisecond and then reconnect it again. Proceed with installation. You can allow all this, create start menu address, shortcut on desktop, quick launch bar, register file, all this thing you can leave it and then complete the installation. All right, now since VirtualBox is installed, you will be able to see that VirtualBox extension pack. Now it is showing us green because this software has recognized this extension pack. That's how the icon got changed. If VirtualBox extension is not installed at all, then VirtualBox extension pack here will be looking like this icon or this icon. Will be looking without any icon or file associations. Okay, so I'll just quickly show where and how we downloaded all this. Okay, the first thing is 7-zip. Okay, here you can download the exe file based on the form factor, whether it can be 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay, the next one is VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, you can click download and then you can select which operating system you can download. Windows, Mac, Solaris, Linux and so on. Probably if you're installing Ubuntu or Red Hat and so on, you can click Linux distributions. So I chose Windows. As you can see in the tooltip here, it will show 7.1.4-16510-win.exe. Now, after I downloaded this, I can go and click on accept and download this extension pack as well. Okay. So what we will do, we will send all the links. We will give you the link to download. We'll send the guide. I mean the tutorial, the guidebook, and so on. How to download all this thing. Okay. Next one is Kali. Kali Machine, you can just go directly and download from kali.org. Okay, the most advanced penetration testing distribution. Okay, great. Download. So in Kali, if you are in Kali Machine, okay, in Kali, you'll be having Kali Machine for multiple environment. One, Windows subsystem for Linux. That is something like you can run Windows inside Linux without this hypervisor and so on. For example, control panel, programs and features, turn Windows features and so on. Here you can, if you click this Windows subsystem for Linux, so you can see provide services and environments for running native user mode Linux shells and tools on Windows. So you don't have to install Oracle VirtualBox, you don't have to install any hypervisor and so on. You just have to select this, install it, and then you can go to, for example, Windows Store, and then in Windows Store you will be able to, for example, Ubuntu. Okay. Okay, now you can install Ubuntu inside Windows Linux and use it if you have installed Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, that's how you can run Ubuntu. This is like the latest version 22.05 long-term support. Okay, stable version. Great. We'll skip this. We'll close this. And then live boot is like you can create a boot USB and you can use containers and Docker and containers. You may know already Docker's containers, which is like instead of virtual machines, there are like shared application binaries, and then you can use it for software development, easily shipping a software development. So that's where containers play a greater role. And cloud, of course, it's like, yeah, you'll have a cloud environment and you can deploy on cloud directly. Mobile, of course, there are some mobile devices where you can install Kali Linux directly in the mobile, and you can run there as well. It's good for some testing and so on. ARM processors, it's a different form factor. Some are like used in IoT kind of thing. You can still use this form factor. Okay, the last two, which is like the most priority. One is installer images, another one is virtual machines. Installer images you can download as an ISO file. You can make you can create a boot USB, and then you can install properly. You can download the ISO file and you can click next, and so on. That will make 20 plus screens. You just have to click next, and so on, and then find it, complete the installation. That is an installer image. The other one is virtual machine, which is like already installed Linux distribution, Kali Linux distribution. But you can just download and then plug in and start using it. You don't have to install manually like installer image. Okay, I'm just going to click virtual machines. Once you click virtual machines, you'll be able to see what are the virtual environment it is supporting. This is a VMware workstation icon. This is Oracle VirtualBox. This is for Hyper-V inside Windows, and QEMU, and there are other details as well. So what we need here is Oracle VirtualBox. This is what we need to download. Oracle VirtualBox. You'll be able to download the .7z extension 3 GB file, or you can download as a torrent. And this is the documentation, and some is something that we discussed yesterday. MD5 hash and so on. We discussed it there. SHA-256 is some. Once you downloaded this, you can run the SHA-256 value for the downloaded machine, and you can compare that value with this, and if both are equal, which means your image is intact. It was not tampered during the transit of this download. Okay, what we can do, we can just click on this 3.1G download, and once you click this, you'll be able to see the download here. Okay, it's going to say that 3.1 GB of data. This file will be downloaded in so and so minutes. I'm just going to cancel this because we have already completed the download. Let's go to the downloader files. Okay. So before that, we will complete the installation of Oracle VirtualBox extension. Then we will install the scaling machine and then vulnerable machines one by one. Okay. I'm going to open Oracle VirtualBox. So here I check if I have extensions. No, I don't. Okay, I'll install it so that I can start from the beginning. Okay, so first thing, let's go to preferences and define where you are actually going to store all the virtual machines. You are going to store it C uses admin or VirtualBox, or you are going to give another path. So I'm going to specify a path that I'm going to store all the virtual machines inside the D. Okay, D/VMs. Okay, then input this and all, you don't have to check anything. You can even do this check for updates, how often you want to check the updates and so on. Okay, this is a lab mission. I'll delete it after the FDP is over. Yeah, these things I don't have to make any changes. DVMs, okay, that is one. This is like housekeeping thing. You need to set up this Oracle VirtualBox environment before doing the next activity. Great. Okay, first one is you need to go to the path and then provide the path where you are going to store all the virtual machines. Now, next thing, please go to extensions and then click install. Point your installation to this Oracle VirtualBox extension pack that we already downloaded. One thing here, both the files are same, but I just renamed this file as 0 file. It won't accept. That's the reason I'm going to I'm going to point to the actual file that I have downloaded. Okay, I'm just going to click this, click open. Of course, we are getting this installation prompt. Click install. Scroll down. You will be having this terms and conditions, and then click I agree. And then your Oracle VirtualBox extension pack is installed here. Okay. One most important thing that it's always recommended to keep in mind. Because we, as from the experience that we have in the corporate industry, software and IT projects for a long time, the version numbers and versioning is really important. Okay, when it comes to VirtualBox, it's always recommended that the VirtualBox version number and the extension number is always matching. For example, if you check here, help about VirtualBox, you can see 7.0.20 release 163906. and so on. You can see a number 7.0.20 release 163906. Okay, if you see the version number of the extension pack that is in the screen, okay, it's also the same 7.0.20 or 163906. Why are we showing this? VirtualBox. Okay. If you see here, the version number is 7.14. Okay, I'll just download and show you. Okay. We don't have to download. Just we can skip it. But this is if you downloaded this VirtualBox extension pack, but you are using an old VirtualBox and so on, it's not recommended. Your VirtualBox extension will be a little bit advanced version, but your actual VirtualBox is not current one. Okay, that's why we always specify, we always recommend that your VirtualBox extension pack matches with the VirtualBox version number. Now, coming to the network, okay, you will be having hosted networks, NAT networks, cloud networks. You may have read all about this, different types of networking. If you still have any, doubts related to the understanding and so on, you can go to Oracle VirtualBox help menu, and then you can read about all the types of networking. For example, we have network address translation, NAT default NAT, and then NAT network, bridge networking, internal networking, hosted networking, cloud networking, and so on. If we have host only network adapter, anything that is in the VirtualBox, will be able to talk to the internet through the host network. This is a guest network, this is a host network. If we have a NAT, network address translation, then anything, I mean, all the virtual machines will be able to get a NAT IP and then get connected to each other. What if we want all the machines to talk to each other as well as they should talk to internet through the host network? That is where you need to manually add a NAT network. Okay, we are going to create a NAT network here. If you see here, there is no NAT network created. I'm just going to create a NAT network here. Okay, just click create, it will get created automatically. If you can see, the IP address starts with 10.0.20 and the subnet is 24, which is like it can accommodate 255 host machines in the subnet. Okay, yeah, we can still enable IP version 6, enable DHCP, we can configure port forwarding and so on. This is all like, I mean, all academicians are well aware of this complete networking. Now, one point to keep in mind, when we install virtual machines, if we attach this NAT network to the virtual machine, all the virtual machines will get an IP address that will start with 10.0.2.2 and so on. The last octet may change. It may be 10.0.5, it may be 10.0.6, it may be 10.0.7, up to 258 it might go. But it would always start with 10.0.2. something if you attach this NAT network in the virtual machine as one of the networks. We'll see how. Okay. Now, let's go to the actual Linux distribution that is having the cybersecurity tools. I'm just going to extract all. Okay, I am extracting here. All right, it's slow. Let me use zip and try. Always it is recommended to use the fifth option that will create a folder and then extract inside. Extract here, extract file. Rather than that, you can select extract to so-and-so folder that ends with the backward slash. Then it will, see, this is quicker. Okay, it will extract the files inside a particular folder. If you can see, there is a folder created for Kali Linux, and the files are being extracted to that folder, to the target folder. Done. Okay, now if you see, you are able to see two files inside. One is a 3 KB file, another one is like 13.3 GB. This actual virtual machine, actual image of the Linux distribution that is already installed and ready to use. This is the settings file. You can just open, I mean, it's not recommended. Maybe you can open at the notepad and you can, if you're really good at reading all these things, you can read and do it. For example, if this is the username and password for the virtual machine, KLI and KLI, that's the username and password that is already configured in this extension, this file, the settings file. Now that we have extracted this virtual machine to the folder, let's go and attach this virtual machine in the Oracle VirtualBox. Okay. I'll show you where we are in the tutorial. Okay, this is done. Okay, this is the requirement. Host with the 64-bit processor, virtualization enabled BIOS, 8 GB of RAM minimum, because your operating system, core operating system itself will consume around 2.5 GB to 4 GB. That's the reason we recommend minimum 8 GB RAM in your desk machine, whether it is a laptop or a desktop. And yeah, whenever 60 GB of free hard disk space, Oracle VirtualBox extension pack, Kali mission, Kali Linux open source metastatic OWASP BSP, will come to that. Yeah, this is how the lab setup is done. You'll be having a host and you'll be having virtualization software, that is the Oracle VirtualBox. That will provide both the DHCP and the NAT through the virtual switch. That is, remember when you installed this Oracle VirtualBox, you got a warning that network interfaces are going to get interrupted. Then Oracle VirtualBox will be creating a virtual networking. This is that one. Okay, then you'll be having an environment where your virtual networking will be providing IP address to Kali machine and also to the vulnerable machine, that is OWASP BCBUZZ, broken web application app, And then this calibration OWA will be inside a NAT network, not NAT. NAT is different and NAT network is different. NAT stands for network address translation. NAT network is same network address translation, but it will enable these two machines connect to the internet through the host, through this virtual switch to the through the host internet, through the host network adapter through the internet. All right. Okay, this is done. Okay, this is the installation things. Okay, this is done. This is done. This is done. The reason I'm showing all this, we'll be sending this to you when the FDP is getting over. This is done. This is done. This is done. Okay. Now, let's go to yeah, we have completed the network. Okay, let's go and create the virtual machine here. All right. Okay, so there are few things how you can attach this virtual machine images to Oracle VirtualBox. One, you can import an appliance, like if it is an OWA file, open virtualization format and so on, you can import the appliance. The other way, you can create a new virtual machine here, like click new and then give a name. For example, I'm going to give a name KLI and I'm going to store in the DVMs folder, and I'm just going to, yeah, ISO, it's not an ISO image. Imagine when in Kali mission in Kali.org website, we saw two things. One is the installer image, another one is virtual machine VMs. If you have downloaded an installer image, this is where you can point to that image, ISO file. But here we have downloaded already, pre-configured virtual machine. That's the reason we can skip this ISO image. We can leave it blank. You just click Linux and then click select other. Okay, other Linux 64 bit. That's it. You don't have to do anything much. Then click next. Yeah, here since we are going to install Kali machine with graphical user interface and so on, I can give it like 2 to 4 GB of RAM because I believe we do have enough RAM here. For example, this machine is having almost 16 GB of RAM. Close to 43% of RAM is already available, so which is like half capacity, more than half capacity is already available. So I can give like 4 GB of RAM. One processor is now enough for me for this machine. This is like extensible firmware interfaces, EFI, that is for old operating systems, really old operating systems and so on. Okay, click next. Create a virtual hard disk. We are not going to create a virtual hard disk now. If you are going to set up a new virtual machine using an installer image, ISO image, then you need to create a virtual hard disk. But actually, we have a existing virtual hard disk file, this file. This is a virtual disk image, okay, VDI, that way, existing virtual hard disk image. That's the reason we are going to select this, use an existing virtual hard disk file, and then use this, choose a virtual disk hard disk file pointer icon. You will be having the hard disk selector window open. Go to add and then go to the folder where you have extracted all the files. Here, this is the extracted folder, Kali Mission VirtualBox, and inside Kali, this 13 GB file, that is the one, actual VDI hard disk image. Click add. So you'll be having this virtual size 80 GB and actual size is 13.36 GB. Really important to check this one. And then click choose. Click next. And then this is a summary. How much is the RAM assigned, how much the processor resource assigned and so on. Attach this and then click finish. Alright, this is how we have attached this extracted Kali machine virtual image inside as a virtual machine image in the Oracle VirtualBox. Before we started, we need to do one important thing. This Kali machine will be able to connect to internet because this Kali machine's network is having Intel Pro 1000MT desktop NAT. This is a default network adapter attached with this. This Kali machine will be able to connect to internet using this network adapter. But we need to have this Kali machine talk to other virtual machines and also connect to the internet. For that, we need to attach this Kali machine with a virtual network adapter that is capable of NAT networking. So go to settings and then go to network, and then here enable network adapter. You can attach multiple network adapters here as well, and go to attach to, and then select the NAT network. The thing is, if only we have created the NAT network in the beginning, will we have in this NAT network name and so on here. If we, for example, discard changes, I'm going to remove this NAT networks. I'm going to remove this. So assume that we don't have created NAT network here manually at all. Then if you go to settings, if you click NAT and if you click NAT network, here you will be having not selected as blank. Nothing won't be there. There is no valid NAT network at all attached. See, if you can see, invalid settings detected. That's the reason in the beginning itself, we go to NAT and create a NAT network. It starts in IP 10.0.2.0, 10.0.2.0, and then go to calibration, settings, network, and then attach to the NAT network. And then you'll be having the name of the NAT network, and then click OK. Okay, all good, all set. Let's see how much RAM is assigned. 4 GB of RAM is assigned. Let's go and start. Click start. You'll be having this powering VM up notification here. Okay, I'm just going to close this notifications window. It won't take a long time. The reason is it's already installed image. It's a pre-installed image. Okay. What's the username and password? It's always the same. I mean, because we just know username and password is KLI, and you just click login. Okay, mouse integration. That's fine. You know this. I'm just going to maximize this. Okay, we are inside the calibration. Now, this is where you can see the processor resources and network connectivity. For example, if you are unable to open a website in the browser, this is where you can go and troubleshoot, like how we are troubleshooting in Windows operating system and so on. Okay. Now that we have extracted Kali mission and we have attached this Kali mission, we'll quickly go through the tools before we get into the vulnerable mission setup. Okay. In Kali mission, in the tool menu, we'll be able to see all the tools related to different topics. For example, if there are like students studying digital forensics, they can go to forensics. They'll be having tools like autopsy, FTK, and so on. Okay, and for example, essay toolkit, it will be in associated tools. For web application, okay, you'll be having BCBUZZ. So we'll come to one by one, all of this, most of this, one by one. This is where you can find the tools. Now let's minimize this. Let's go to the vulnerable mission setup. Okay, now that we have Kali mission there, Kali mission like a Linux distribution that is having all the cybersecurity tools, we need to use the cybersecurity tools against what? There should be a target. There should be a vulnerable target. That target is these two, Metasploitable and OWASP. Okay, we're just going to extract it first, then we'll attach to Oracle VirtualBox. Before we do this, we'll find it one more thing. We attach this Kali mission with NAT network. Okay, so let's get the IP address of this. Control Shift plus, it will increase the font size of this terminal, the font. Okay, I'm just going to type the command called ifconfig, like ipconfig in Windows. Ifconfig is the command. So once I type ifconfig, I'll be having two adapter details. One is Ethernet 0 and another is a loopback adapter. Loopback adapter, of course, we know it's always having the IP that is started with 110.0.0 something. And yeah, these are other details related to the loopback adapter. And Ethernet 0, the only adapter that we have, will be having two things here. One, inet is the IP version 4 IP address. So 10.0.10 is the IP address that has been assigned by Kali mission. I mean, has been assigned to this network adapter by the virtual NAT network that we have created in Oracle VirtualBox. If we haven't created it, you'll be having entirely like 192 series here. Okay, that is one. Second thing, INET 6 is the IP version 6 IP address. This is the IP version 6. If there are like applications capturing logs, and if your log is having addresses similar to this, then you may be able to confirm yourself this is an IP version 6 IP address. Great. Let it be here. Let's minimize this. Okay, I'm going to quickly check if there are queries posted to the chat. Long time I didn't check. Okay, no queries. Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, no queries posted in chat. Okay, let's go and extract the vulnerable machine. Sounds it. And you'll extract the other vulnerable machine also. Sounds it. Let's go and check while this is happening in the backend. Let's go and check the Metasploit table extracted folder. Metasploit table has been extracted, and you have like 5 files: VMSD file, VMX file, settings file, RAM file, and the actual virtual machine disk file, VMDK. Yes, VMDK file. This is the actual Linux that has to be attached to the in the virtual machine disk image when you're configuring inside Oracle VirtualBox. Alright, now go to OWASP BW broken web applications. I don't think it is, yeah. Okay, now it is done. We'll be having like close to 11 files. Okay, this thing, the CL1-S, all this thing, all files are linked files. These files are interconnected. So if you attach this CL1 file, the file will take the size of all the files that is already extracted. You'll see now. Okay, we will see now. Okay, let's go and minimize this. All right, so Kali mission is running. Okay, so let me go and show the tutorial also for you to follow. This is done, 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 this is done. All these things are done. Okay, yeah, we did NAT network and completed Kali mission is done. Okay, we'll come to Kali Linux update and so on later. Okay, first we will complete the Metasploit table and OWASP BW. Okay, one moment, my screen is frozen here. All right, let's continue. Okay. Now, click new. Let's go and set up the next mission. Metasploit META, and then let's continue storing this virtual machines inside the same folder, VMs. And still it is a Linux, and it's another version of Linux 64-bit. Click next. This is a Linux machine that is not having any graphical user interface. It's a thin Linux. 512 MB RAM is more than enough, and then click next. Here again, we are not going to create a virtual hard disk. This is already a pre-installed Linux distribution. We just have to use an existing virtual hard disk file. Okay, click use an existing virtual hard disk file. Now, by default, since we are attached this Kali mission in the past, you'll be having this here, but we just have to change this. That's the reason we need to choose a virtual hard disk file. Click this and go to the hard disk selector, click add, and then go to the files where it has been extracted. Metasploit Linux, and then you will be having this file uh, vmdk, one file that is having close to 2 GB of space. If you really want to see where all the files have gone, you can type ***. You'll be able to see all the extracted files. But we just have to attach this virtual machine disk file. Click this and click open. You'll be able to see virtual disk image 8 GB, actual size is like less than 2 GB. And click choose. Okay, now you can see here. Okay, you need to select metasploitable.vmdk. Click next. This is summary. 512 MB of RAM is fine. One processor, core processor is also not core processor, logical processor, not a physical processor assigned. Find Linux 64-bit. Finish. Yeah, before we boot, it is one most important thing. We just have to attach this machine with NAT network so that Kali and Metasploitable talk to each other. So this is like the doctor, this is the patient. This is the Linux distribution that is having cybersecurity tools. This is the Linux machine that is having all the vulnerabilities. It's an intentionally created vulnerable machine. Okay, go to settings, go to network, and then click here NAT network. You'll be able to see the NAT network name. Click OK. Okay, you can double confirm here as well. Okay, NAT network under the NAT, under the name. Okay, let's go and start. Okay, powering up. I'm going to close this notification window. This is a Linux machine that doesn't have any graphical user interface, so all that you would see after the configuration is done is just a terminal. That's it. Okay, all right. So you will be able to see the username and password here itself. MSF admin is a username and MSF admin is a password. Of course, when you type that in terminal, you won't be able to see anything here. Okay, I'm just going to type it in terminal. MSFADMIN. Okay, and then password, you won't be able to see anything. MSFADMIN. Okay, done. So once you have entered the correct username and password, you'll be able to see the terminal prompt MSF admin enter Metasploitable. Now if you type if ifconfig to get the IP address, if you can see, as usual, two Ethernet adapters. One is the loopback adapter that is having 110.0.0.1. Another one is having the Ethernet 0 that is having two IP addresses. One is IP version 6 and another one is IP version 4. IP version 4, you'll be able to see the IP address, the 10.0.2.11. If you remember, for Kali mission, it got 10.0.2.10. Okay, this is like 10.0.2.11. Yeah, this is done. We will come to this later. First, we will go to Kali mission. We will see if we are able to access this mission here. Okay, I'm just going to Kali. Sorry. Okay, click Kali, click show. Okay, now. Okay. I'll go to, let's use ping command 10.0. Okay, if you are getting response, which means the mission is reachable, I'm going to use Control Z to break this. What if you are trying to ping a mission that is not existing at all? 111. So you'll be getting an error message that destination host is not reachable. So if you're able to ping, which means Kali mission is able to talk to the vulnerable mission, which is like Metasploitable. You can also check here by in the browser also. For example, I'm just going to, because we know the vulnerable machine is having a web server running inside, and of course it can provide a web page. We know about that machine. That's the reason we are going to try that. Here 10.0.2.11, we'll be able to see. Okay, Metasploitable mission. What if you are going to try to run 10.0.2.12? Nothing. As you can see, it's not to bring up anything. Yeah, there is no mission. That's the reason it is unable to establish a connection here. All right, so we have set up one mission, Kali mission, that is having cybersecurity tools, and another mission that is vulnerable mission, that is metasploitable. Now let's go and set up the third mission, um, OWSP BWA, quickly. Okay, click new, OWSP BWA. We didn't come to the tools yet, we will come to the tools shortly. Okay, this is other Linux 64-bit. Click next. 512 MB RAM is fine. One logical processor is fine. Create a virtual hard disk. No, we are going to use an existing virtual hard disk file. Open the hard disk file pointer. Add that. Go to OWSVBW where you have extracted all the files. You can just select the first file, which is a link file which brings all the files. For example, this is 1 KB, but when you select, you will be able to see the virtual size is 8 GB and the total size is 5.89 GB. If you want to see, you can go here, .bsp, you can select all these files and go to properties, you'll be able to see 5.88 or 5.9, that's what it's showing in the VirtualBox. Alright, click choose. Okay, again confirm the same. Click next, summary screen, start, powering up. Okay, again it's a thin Linux. It won't be having any graphical user interface. It will take a long time, just few seconds. That's all it needs. All right, here you can see in the screen, the username is root and the password is OWSPBWA. Okay, I'm just going to type it here. Login as root, password is OWASPBWA. Okay, now we are in the prompt. Since we have typed the right password, you are now in the prompt. Now you can check the IP address, ifconfig, you'll be able to see to 10.0.2.15. If you can see, 10.0.2.15 is IP address assigned to this OWSP machine. Now let's go to Kali machine. We'll quickly check whether we are able to reach this. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to keep it here. Okay, now try ping 10.0.2.15. Yes. Now host is not reachable. Okay, one moment. I need to troubleshoot why it is not working, but still fine. I'll check this one right now. Okay, it's getting time, no problem. Okay, let's go to one last thing. Okay, once you have this Linux installed, there is a proper method to shut it down. You can use a command called shutdown -h. 0 is the seconds. Then okay, you just use the you need to use a command as root. So prefix sudo superuser do shutdown -h and then 0. Password is msfadmin. Okay, msfadmin. Okay, now it is shutting down. Okay, now I'll come to the other machine, OWSPBWA. This is Meta. Okay, execute. You can also use the other command like shutdown-h now. It will shut it off. 0 is the seconds, like you specify 60, it will turn off all the services and shut it down in 60 seconds. Okay, this is done, this is powered off, this is powered off, and Kali mission, let's go. And you can use this icon, save session for future icons, and check it and click shut off. Okay, all right, so because it's already time's up, yeah. If you have any questions, please post it in the chat. Hopefully, today's session went well. So we believe that there was a little bit of knowledge and knowledge exchange. Once again, we thank you for your time and presence today for the third day of FDP. Sir, I have a 4 GB RAM. Sir, which operating system you are using, sir? Is it Windows 7 or Windows 10 and so on? Windows 11, sir, I am sorry. Windows 11 itself will consume more than 2 GB of RAM. Maybe you can try to set up one machine, Kali machine, 1 GB you can assign Kali machine, and then 512 MB for the vulnerable machine, and then you can give it a try, because Oracle VirtualBox, it will also consume some RAM. Or else if you are trying to set up lab, you can turn off all the services in Windows. If you are running a database, SQL Server and so on, related like that Adobe update, Google Chrome update, all the services you can disable it from msconfig. Then you leave only the operating system and the internet to be running, and you can give it a try. It will still work, sir, but it will be little bit slow. We are not telling that it won't work at all. It will still work.